What if there was a place on your chest, just beneath your sternum, that held the wisdom your soul has been whispering all along? Not a temple in a faraway land, not a book locked in dusty libraries, but a hidden doorway resting silently in your own body. Ancient mystics once called it the Hridaya Point, the heart of hearts, the secret chamber of the soul. Science today might call it part of the nervous system, but to those who truly touch it, it feels like home. Take a slow breath with me, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Notice how your shoulders begin to soften, how your breath sinks a little deeper. Imagine if this calm could multiply 10 times deeper until your entire body remembered what peace was meant to feel like. Imagine warmth rising inside your chest, like a soft golden light glowing behind your sternum. That is where the Hridaya Point lives. Some say when they press this point lightly, they feel tingling. Others describe it as if a heavy stone they carried for years suddenly melts away. And some whisper it feels like silence itself flowing through their body. Yet most people live their whole lives without ever discovering it. They rush, they think, they search in books and in others, never realizing that the wisdom they seek has been sitting right here, waiting patiently beneath their skin. Let me ask you something. Where are you watching this right now? Are you resting in your living room chair, phone in your hand? Are you lying in bed, searching for calm before sleep? Or maybe you're sitting quietly at a kitchen table, hoping to hear something your heart already knows. Wherever you are, pause for a moment. Place 2 fingers gently at the center of your chest. Do you feel the rise and fall of your breath? Can you sense that quiet pulse beneath? This is more than just a point on your body. It is a bridge between the physical and the invisible. A place where the language of your soul speaks through sensation. Ancient healers guarded this knowledge because they understood how easily the world forgets. But today you and I are remembering together. You don't need to travel anywhere. You don't need a complicated practice. You only need a willingness to listen inwardly. Stay with me through this journey, because in the next few minutes, you will not only discover exactly how to find this sacred point, but also how to use it to awaken the wisdom your spirit has been craving. Imagine for a moment that this simple act of touch could open a doorway inside you. What would you ask your soul if you could hear it clearly? Before we continue, pause and let your body answer with honesty. If you feel even the smallest pull inside, trust it. Whisper a gentle yes to your own growth. And if this message already stirs something in you, let that whisper be your first step. Subscribe to the Spine Gospel, like this video, and share it softly, the way one shares a candle flame. Because once the heart begins to open, its light is not meant to stay hidden. You may be wondering, what exactly is this Hridaya Point we speak of? Is it just another name for the heart chakra? Or is it something different, something even deeper? The truth is, the Hridaya Point is more than a symbol. In Sanskrit, Hridaya means the heart of the heart, the innermost chamber of your being. It is not the physical heart alone, but a subtle center hidden behind the sternum, slightly to the right, where mystics believed the soul itself rests. For centuries, yogis and seers described this point as a sacred doorway. Not a door you could touch with wooden hinges, but one that opens when you bring your awareness to the center of your chest. They called it the cave of the heart, a quiet place where the noise of the world cannot enter. To them, touching this point was like pressing your ear to the doorway of your own soul and listening to the wisdom that lives inside you. Now, if this sounds too mystical, let's soften it with what science has begun to notice. The area just beneath the sternum is connected to bundles of nerves that regulate how calm or tense you feel. When gentle pressure is applied here, the body begins to switch into what doctors call the parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode of the nervous system. This is why a simple act of touching the Hridaya Point can bring a surprising wave of relaxation, even for those who have never heard the word before. But still, what sets this point apart from any other is not only the nerve pathways, it is the way awareness itself seems to gather here. When you bring your mind to your chest, when your fingers rest with intention, you are telling your body, it is safe to let go. Ancient wisdom and modern science meet here like two streams flowing into one river. The Indian philosopher and teacher Eknath Eswaran, in his translation of the Upanishads, writes, "There is a light that shines beyond all things on earth, beyond us all, beyond the highest heavens. This is the light that shines in the heart." When sages spoke of that light, they were pointing toward this Hridaya space. It is not a metaphor alone, it is an actual inner perception that awakens when you touch the chest with awareness. Imagine for a moment that your body is like a house. Your thoughts live in the busy upstairs rooms. Your emotions pass through like guests in the living room. But the Hridaya Point is the hidden inner chamber, the sanctuary where the owner of the house, the soul, rests quietly. Most of us spend our lives wandering the upper floors, never realizing there is a silent guest room within, glowing with the light of our truest self. The technique, then, is simple in its form, yet profound in its effect. It asks you to bring two things together, touch and attention. Without attention, touch is just a physical gesture. Without touch, attention often wanders like smoke. But when touch and awareness meet at the Hridaya Point, the heart begins to open its secret pages. This is why mystics across different cultures, whether Indian yogis, Christian saints, or Sufi poets, have all spoken of the heart as the place where the divine whispers. You do not need to believe in chakras or subscribe to a philosophy for this to work. You only need to be willing to pause, to gently touch, and to notice what unfolds. Perhaps for you, it will begin as a wave of calmness in the breath. For another, it may feel like warmth spreading through the chest. And for some, it may reveal buried emotions rising gently, ready to be released. This is the wisdom of the body itself, the intelligence that has been waiting to be heard. So when we say Hridaya technique, we are not speaking of a ritual to memorize or a rigid system to master. We are speaking of the art of remembering, a return to the center. It is a reminder that the deepest truths are not hidden in books or distant temples, but resting quietly beneath your own skin. The next time you feel lost or overwhelmed, you might remember that your chest carries a hidden doorway. With a simple touch, you may find that wisdom was never missing. It was simply waiting for you to come home. And as you begin to sense what this technique really is, allow your imagination to open just a little wider. If a single point on your chest could carry this much potential, what else might your body be trying to tell you? When we place our hand upon the Hridaya Point, it may feel like nothing more than a gentle touch to the chest. But science is slowly catching up to something ancient traditions always knew, that the space around the heart is not just symbolic, but deeply physiological. Let's begin with something simple. Beneath your sternum, just slightly to the left, beats the heart. But surrounding the heart is an intricate network of nerves, one of the most important being the vagus nerve. Scientists sometimes call it the wandering nerve, because it travels from the brainstem all the way down through the chest, the lungs, the stomach, and into the intestines. It carries messages both ways, allowing the body to influence the brain and the brain to influence the body. When you gently press or place awareness on the Hridaya Point, you stimulate this very pathway. It's not forceful, it's not mechanical, it's simply a soft reminder to your body that it can shift from tension into calm. In scientific terms, this is the movement from sympathetic dominance, fight or flight mode, to parasympathetic activation, rest and heal mode. Think of how often we live in stress, racing thoughts, shallow breathing, tight shoulders. Now imagine, through a simple touch, you signal to the nervous system, it's safe now. You can let go. That's the beginning of transformation. In her book, The Heart's Code, 1998, Dr. Paul Pearsall, a neuropsychologist, described the heart as holding an intelligence of its own, a form of cellular memory that communicates with the brain in ways we are only beginning to understand. While mainstream science debates this idea, what's undeniable is that the heart and brain are in constant dialogue. Every heartbeat sends signals upward, shaping emotions, influencing clarity, even affecting decision-making. You may have noticed this yourself. When your heart is racing with anxiety, your mind struggles to focus. When your heart feels settled, your thoughts become clear. The Hridaya Point is like a doorway into that alignment, allowing both physiology and psychology to harmonize. And here's something even more fascinating. The Institute of Heart Math, a research center in California, has spent decades studying what they call heart coherence, the smooth, rhythmic pattern of the heartbeat that appears when a person experiences compassion, gratitude, or calm. According to their studies, placing awareness on the heart area and breathing slowly can create this state of coherence, leading to lower stress hormones, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Doesn't that sound almost like modern science, describing what ancient yogis already practiced? Now think of the way you feel when you breathe deeply with your hand resting on your chest. That simple act of presence sends signals through mechanoreceptors in the skin and fascia, influencing the vagus nerve, slowing the heart rate, and calming the amygdala, the fear center of the brain. In everyday language, you feel safer, more centered, more yourself. As Dr. Stephen Porges, the scientist behind the polyvagal theory, wrote in his book The Pocket Guide to the Polyvagal Theory, 2017, safety is not just the removal of threat. It is the experience of connection. This is precisely what happens when you touch the Hridaya Point. You are not only removing the signals of stress, you are inviting in the signals of connection, both to yourself and to something greater. And here is where the mystical and the scientific truly meet. Ancient teachers said the Hridaya Point was the seat of the soul, while modern science says it is the hub of neurocardiac communication. Ancient texts called it the doorway to higher wisdom, while neuroscientists call it a regulator of emotional stability. Different languages, perhaps, but pointing to the same mystery. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever placed your hand on your heart during a difficult moment and noticed the comfort it brings, even before the problem is solved? That is not placebo. That is biology, spirituality, and consciousness all interwoven. Imagine then practicing this not just in times of pain, but as a daily ritual of alignment. Each touch on the Hridaya Point becomes a gentle nudge to your nervous system. Return home. This is why the ancients did not see a conflict between the spiritual and the physical. To them, the body was a sacred instrument and the heart a living temple. Today, science, with its EEGs, MRIs, and HRV monitors, is finally beginning to measure what sages felt in silence. So when you next bring your awareness here, remember, you're not only touching skin and bone, you are influencing one of the most profound biological pathways in the body, awakening both your nervous system and your soul's wisdom. And as we keep unfolding this journey, we will see how this single point does not just connect body and science, but also opens a vast map of ancient wisdom waiting to be remembered. Science gives us measurements, graphs, and brain scans. But long before laboratories, people already knew that the heart held mysteries no instrument could capture. To touch the Hridaya Point is to place your hand on the doorway that countless traditions have called the seat of the soul. Let's begin with its very name. In Sanskrit, Hridaya means that which gives life. Ancient yogic texts described it as the spiritual heart, hidden not in the organ of flesh, but in a subtle center of awareness. The Upanishads, some of the oldest philosophical writings of India, speak of a lotus in the heart, where the Atman, the true self, resides. This was not metaphor to them. It was guidance. They believed that when a seeker touched or meditated upon this center, they could awaken wisdom beyond the mind. In The Wisdom of Yoga, Stephen Cope, 2006, the author explains how yogic practitioners used heart-centered awareness to shift from restless thought into profound stillness. He writes, "The yogis discovered that the heart space was not merely a vessel for emotion, but a portal to the deepest knowing of the self." But this is not just an Eastern idea. If we turn to the mystics of Christianity, we hear echoes of the same teaching. The 14th century text, The Cloud of Unknowing, advises seekers to place their attention beneath the breast, in the secret place of the heart, as a way to commune with God beyond words. Even medieval monks spoke of the heart not as a symbol, but as a living altar where divine presence could be felt. In Sufi poetry, the heart is everything. Jalaluddin Rumi, the 13th century mystic, wrote, "The heart is the secret inside the secret. Call it the sanctuary, the center of awareness, the dwelling of love." When you place your hand on the Hridaya Point, you are entering this sanctuary. You are stepping into the same space Rumi sang of, a chamber not built of stone, but of silence, warmth, and remembrance. And what about indigenous traditions? Many Native American teachings speak of the heart as the place where the Great Spirit whispers guidance. The Lakota phrase "mitakuye oyasing," all my relations, was often expressed with a hand over the heart, honoring the bond between self, community, and creation. The touch was not casual. It was sacred recognition. What unites all these voices, Hindu, Christian, Sufi, indigenous, is the sense that the heart is not simply an organ, but a compass to higher truth. Now, pause for a moment. Place your hand gently on your own Hridaya Point. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest. Notice the rhythm beneath. Isn't it remarkable how something so simple immediately shifts your state of being? For a moment, you are not in the rush of thoughts. You are present, anchored, alive. In the book The Heart of Yoga, TKV Desikacha, 1995, the teacher reminds us, when we pay attention to the heart, we are paying attention to the very core of our being. To ignore the heart is to ignore the wisdom of life itself. This timeless reminder links practice to presence, body to spirit. For ancient seekers, touching the Hridaya Point was not about fixing stress or lowering blood pressure, though that may happen. It was about remembrance. Remembering that within us lies a spark of the infinite. Remembering that wisdom does not only live in books or teachers, but already beats quietly within our chest. And perhaps this is why across cultures, across centuries, humans have placed their hand over their heart when swearing truth. Praying, mourning, or celebrating, instinctively, we know this gesture connects us to something beyond logic. So let me ask you, when you place your hand here, what do you feel? Is it only a pulse, or is it something more, a whisper of memory, a doorway opening? Share it in the comments. I want to hear how your own heart responds. When science meets spirit, and when ancient practice meets modern awareness, the Hridaya Point emerges not as a superstition, but as a universal symbol. It tells us you are not only a mind, you are not only a body, you are also a soul. And the key to remembering that lies right here, in the center of your chest. And as we keep unfolding this path, we will see how this heart-centered practice is not only about remembrance, but about awakening, a process where hidden wisdom slowly becomes living truth. We've journeyed through the science, and we've touched the roots of ancient wisdom. But the real magic only unfolds when you experience it for yourself. So let's slow down together and walk step by step into the practice. First, find a comfortable position. You might sit on a chair with your feet touching the ground, or simply rest back on your bed with a cushion behind you. What matters is ease. Your body should not feel tight or strained, because this practice is about softening, not forcing. Now bring 2 fingers of your right hand to the center of your chest. Right here, just above the sternum, lies the Hridaya Point. Gently rest your fingers there. Don't press hard. Think of it as if you're greeting a delicate flower. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Let the belly expand slightly, and exhale softly through the mouth. As you do, imagine that your breath is flowing directly into the spot beneath your fingers. With every inhale, the Hridaya Point awakens. With every exhale, tension melts away. Stay here for a few breaths. Notice, does the chest feel warmer? Do your shoulders drop a little lower? Perhaps there is a subtle tingling, or maybe just a sense of being held. Whatever you feel is perfect. There is no right experience, only your experience. Now let's add a gentle visualization. Imagine a soft golden light glowing at your Hridaya Point. With every inhale, the light grows brighter. With every exhale, it spreads through your body, down your arms, into your belly, through your legs, all the way to your feet. You are not imagining this light, you are remembering it. Because this light has always been here, in the healing power of breath. Richard P. Brown and Patricia L. Gerbarg. 2012, the authors explain how slow, heart-focused breathing activates the vagus nerve and calms the nervous system. They write, when the breath is guided to the heart space, the body remembers its natural rhythm of safety and rest. This is exactly what you are experiencing now, the science and the spirit flowing as one. You can keep the practice very simple. Place your fingers at the Hridaya Point. Breathe slowly and deeply. Imagine warmth or light spreading outward. But if you want to go a little deeper, try adding one of these variations. Variation 1, silent mantra. As you breathe, silently repeat the word peace or love. With every inhale, breathe the word into your chest. With every exhale, let it radiate out into your whole being. Variation 2, gentle tap. Instead of holding your fingers still, try a very light tapping on the Hridaya Point, almost like the beat of a drum. Many find this awakens the energy flow faster and creates a sense of gentle release. Variation 3, morning awakening. When you first wake up, before checking your phone or rushing into the day, place your hand here. Just 1 minute of touching your Hridaya Point can set the tone for your entire day. Calm, grounded, connected. After each practice, pause. Sit quietly for a few moments and ask yourself, what shifted? What do I feel now compared to before? Sometimes the answer is immediate. You feel lighter, calmer, more present. Other times, the shift is subtle, like a seed planted quietly within you. In The Untethered Soul, Michael A. Singer, 2007, the author writes, the heart center opens not when we force it, but when we allow it. Your only task is to notice and let go. This wisdom reminds us, don't push for results. Simply practice, and the opening will come naturally. The beauty of the Hridaya Point practice is that it doesn't require hours of meditation or special training. Even 30 seconds of gentle touch and breath can change how you feel. And the more consistently you practice, the more natural it becomes, like brushing your teeth or washing your face. So here's a small invitation. For the next 7 days, every morning or every night, give yourself just 1 minute at the Hridaya Point. Breathe, touch, visualize the golden light. Write in the comments how this daily ritual feels for you. I would love to hear your journey. Remember, this is not about perfection. Some days you may feel nothing. Other days tears may come. Both are part of the process. The Hridaya Point is not just a switch for calm. It is a mirror of the soul. And every time you touch it, you are saying to yourself, I am here. I'm listening. What makes a practice truly powerful is not how dramatic it feels in the beginning, but how quietly it shapes your life when repeated day after day. The Hridaya Point is no different. Its real gift unfolds through consistency, through small moments of returning to the heart again and again. So how can you make this a part of your daily rhythm? Think of it as a 1-minute ritual. Every morning, before you reach for your phone or coffee, place your hand gently at the Hridaya Point. Take 3 slow breaths and visualize the golden light awakening in your chest. That's it. No complicated steps, no pressure, just a soft greeting to your soul at the start of the day. At night, you can repeat the same ritual before sleep. Let your touch signal the body that the day is complete, that it is safe to rest. Over time, your nervous system begins to associate this gesture with calmness, and even a light touch can bring you into stillness. As Dr. Joe Dispenza writes in Becoming Supernatural 2017, when we shift our attention to the heart, we teach the body to feel a different future in the present moment. This is the promise of daily practice, not just relaxation, but transformation. By repeatedly tuning to the Hridaya Point, you're teaching your body and spirit to live from wisdom rather than from worry. What might change if you practice this every day? You may notice your sleep deepening. Moments that once triggered irritation may soften. A calm undercurrent may appear beneath the surface of your busy hours. Some describe it as becoming less reactive and more receptive, able to meet life's challenges with steadiness rather than stress. And over weeks, even months, something more subtle awakens, a shift in identity. You begin to remember that you are not just a mind full of thoughts, but a being anchored in a deeper rhythm. Each daily touch is like knocking gently on the door of your soul, until one day the door opens wide. So let me ask you, can you give yourself 1 minute a day for your own soul's wisdom? Try it for 7 days and share in the comments how it changes you. There is something almost miraculous about how a simple touch can change everything. A few breaths, a gentle hand at the center of your chest, and suddenly the noise of the world grows softer, while the voice of your soul grows clearer. The Hridaya Point was never hidden from you. It was waiting. Patiently, quietly, through every season of your life it remained, like a silent friend you had forgotten, but who never forgot you. Tonight, as you rest your hand here, or tomorrow as you greet the day, remember, wisdom is not something you must chase outside yourself. It has been beating within you all along. In Anatomy of the Spirit, Caroline Myss, 1996, the author writes, "The heart is where the human meets the divine. To live without listening to it is to live half a life." This is the invitation before you, not just to know about the Hridaya Point, but to live with it as your compass. Think of how many generations touched this same center. Yogis in caves, mystics in monasteries, mothers soothing their children, elders offering prayers. Across time, across cultures, this simple gesture, hand to heart, has always been a doorway to the sacred. And now you carry it too. So let me ask you one final question. What wisdom did your heart whisper to you tonight? I would love for you to share it in the comments. Whether it was peace, clarity, or just the stillness of silence, your words may help another soul on this same path. If you feel lighter, calmer, or even just a little more connected than before, let this be the beginning of your journey, not the end. Explore. Touch the Hridaya Point daily. Notice the subtle shifts. And allow your life to be shaped not by fear, but by the quiet rhythm of your soul. If this spoke to you, imagine what will awaken when we explore the other sacred points of the body together. That's where we'll go next, here on the Spine Gospel. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who may need it. And as you leave this moment, carry with you a simple reminder. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are a soul with an ancient compass, and its needle points home, to the heart, to the Hridaya, to the wisdom that has always been yours. Take one more slow breath with me now. Inhale, exhale. Feel your hand at your chest. Whisper softly to yourself, I remember, because you do, and you always will.